Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on Big Rig Banter. I hope everyone had a great Christmas. We got New Year's right around the corner, so hopefully you don't run into too much craziness out on the road. So we have a pretty, I guess be considered a sensitive topic that's, we'll get to that. Let's roll the intro. We'll be right back. All right, so we are joined again by our guests from last week, Sharon and Jerri. Okay. And unfortunately, we all know our co-host over here, Albert. So this week, we thought we would touch on the subject of overall mental health out here on the road and trucking in general. We're not talking about all types of mental health, but the anxiety or the OCD or whatever, personality traits that affect a lot of drivers in the country. And so, go ahead, Albert.
Put the spotlight on me.
Well, co-host got to speak something too now. I mean, I was just getting a place that does Albert ever talk? So
He was building up to your questions.
All right, Sharon,
Oh, gosh.
because I know you.
Yes, I'm a nervous wreck. Riddled with anxiety.
One of the key attributes to mental illness is loneliness. How do you cope with that as a driver?
loneliness, that would be considered a mental health issue, or?
Well, I mean,
I guess
loneliness kind of drives to a lot of mental,
Yeah.
mental illnesses,
I
though, as a driver.
Instead of
does.
calling it loneliness, I would say it'd be more like isolation anxiety.
This is the same concept, is it not?
Well, I mean, loneliness. Oh, I'm lonely. So I don't know.
Oh,
But
so lonely.
calling it isolation anxiety would kind of like give it a better name. I think people not thinking like, oh, I'm alone, I'm lonely, because anyone can be lonely.
I actually prefer to be alone. I get anxiety when I'm surrounded by a bunch of people,
Like
when I'm in crowds.
events.
Yeah,
So,
I
like-
mean, like I can't go to like a big grand Christmas party and not know people. I can't go into a crowded store by myself. I have to literally be side by side with somebody, because I have been by myself this whole time I've been out on the road, and I'm not used to, you go into a truck stop, you're not in a crowd. You pass like a couple of people, like
Right.
thanks for holding the door, whatever. And that's it. But so when I go into a crowded store, I'm a nervous wreck. I'm like shaking and hyperventilating. It's nerve-wracking, for sure.
You
So
miss
you-
Walmart being open 24 hours, don't you?
Oh, heck no.
No?
I do that online stuff.
Oh,
I have stuff. I do the Walmart grocery
Pickup, yeah.
And now I have it delivered to my house because my kids are there, so I don't even have to answer the door.
But then you have weird people coming to your house.
Well, they can deal with it. I can stay in my room. It's fine.
Are they gone? Are they gone?
See, I miss the being able to go in there at like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning when
Yes.
there's barely anybody in
But
there.
that's where all the weird. Well, that's we're weird.
They
too.
make a coloring book. Have you seen the coloring book? It's on Amazon. It's called The People of Walmart. It's a
Yes.
coloring book of
Oh,
all
really? There used to be a web page
Oh, yeah.
called The People of Walmart.
There
Wow.
still is.
the yeah,
is
the,
there?
oh yeah,
Yeah, there still is.
yeah. I have not had the pleasure of running into any of these
Specials.
specials. Here we go. That's kind of an all-encompassing specials.
We're all special
Special.
in one way or another,
Right?
depending on what day of the, what hour of the day you're going into Walmart.
Right. So what kind of
All right, Miss Jerry, how about any kind of mental illness issues that you may have out there? And how do you cope with them?
Well, see, when I first got into this, while I was with those wonderful trainers that I was dealing with, I actually got, well, the second trainer I had was very I don't really know what to call her. OCD, over the top. She was something. You couldn't
What's her
make
name?
a
Sharon too?
no, no,
Hey, and
no.
it's not OCD. It's put shit where you got it.
Well, like she would had this bad habit of liking to yell and then tell you she's not yelling at you. And
Drill
because
sergeants do not yell. We simply raise our voice loud enough for everyone to hear.
It's just called voice
Yeah.
elevation. We want to make sure that you hear and understand.
well, because of this, yeah, I have anxiety, obviously. But it got so bad that I ended up having to come home and go to the doctor, and come to find out I have ADD. Reluctantly, I don't have the hyper part of it, but
Right.
I explained to him how I would feel when I'd make a mistake and she'd go to yell. It'd feel like I had like 20 things being thrown at me one time, and I didn't. By the time we're done, I don't even know what the original problem was anymore.
Kind of like a chihuahua scared in a corner.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I felt there for a while. And
ADD and ADHD are a couple of those most common terms that are thrown around all the way back to like the
They
70s and
actually
80s.
have
Oh, that was this
combined.
was. Oh, this is a thing, and then it went through the whole that's fake, and then it's oh no, that's real, and everyone back in the 80s and 90s always threw drugs at it. Ritalin
More the
was
90s than the 80s. The 80s, they just dealt with it. Well, my parents never took us kids to go see a psych doctor or even a doctor to be diagnosed with nothing.
yeah,
Well, back in the
just dealt
day,
with it. It
girls,
got
it was
buried.
unheard of girls having ADD and ADHD because
Yeah.
we dealt with it differently.
yeah.
Now I'm ADD and ADHD. Like I asked my neurologist, I was like, "So what side of the spectrum am I?" And she goes, "Honey, you are the spectrum." Yeah. Okay, so yeah.
But yeah, anyway, my doctor gave me a little bit of Strattera, and all of a sudden it felt like somebody lifted me out of a fog, and everything made sense.
Yeah, but a lot of Gen Xers were never diagnosed with any mental illnesses until basically the last few years.
Oh yeah.
Until it was too late.
I've seen. I've
We'd
seen a lot
already
of-
accustomed to it.
I've seen several of those little videos that talked about, this whole time, I thought it was just the way I was, but turns out that I have this condition. They didn't even realize it. They're just like, then they start getting treatment for it, and like, oh my god, I can see. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got
could've-
diagnosed. I just haven't gotten any medication, so I'm still running around unmedicated. But at least I know what's going on now, and so it makes a little more sense. And
Then
I'm like,
please address the rest of the
"Oh,
world what's going on so we all
You know?
understand how Sharon runs.
I've got a little more clarity going on instead of going, why am I like that? It's like, oh, I know. So now I'm trying to get out of the habit of blaming my ADHD. I'm like, I got to take responsibility for it. I got to stop pinning it on a mental. Brain is not working again.
It's that ADD.
Squirrel.
You sure you don't want me to
mental
share some of
illness.
my?
Right, mental awareness.
Right.
I am aware I'm mental.
We are aware too.
It is
Okay.
what it
Well,
is.
Albert, you came here with your Pride shirt on, your mental health awareness shirt. So,
It's more not. It's more.
well, what drove you to buy that? Because you personal, or do you have kids or close friends
It
that do
came
it?
from a site called TVP. If you know, you know. Talk about Hella Project, and they do a lot of the 22 a day stuff. If you know, you know. If not, 22,
Military.
22 a day is you have 22 veterans who commit suicide a day. A lot of them deal
Okay.
with mental illness.
Okay.
So that's one of my biggest foundations that I support, because I am ex-military, and mental illness from ex-military is real.
Right.
And so that's you see a lot of stuff that I wear that's not Bowerman. It's this related.
Right.
So that's
Yeah, I have a lot of the 22 a day shirts too.
What kind of issues have you experienced personally on the road? Is it like leftover military PTSD type stuff, or do you deal with like other like anxieties?
back in the when I was driving, I was still You're a man, you bury your shit. That's how I kept all my stuff buried.
Gen X stuff.
Gen
Yeah.
X stuff. We grew up having to bury our stuff. So I've never really dove into what my mental illness may be if I have any. Now, with that being said, I've got 5 kids with 2 different women. They all have mental illnesses. So the only common thing is me. So I haven't really dove into my stuff yet.
Have they decided or discovered if any kind of mental illness is genetic, like past?
Yeah, there's things like
I'm sure it's not all. I'm sure it's like
Well,
this
ADHD
this
is
one is
actually
most commonly
can be.
passed. I mean,
And
Like-
one thing that a lot of people don't know is one of the reason why I'm so heavy on the 22 a day. I was almost one of those 22 a day.
what saved you?
My
Me.
kids.
Kids?
kids will save you from anything.
And I'm glad too.
So
I've
that's-
known you for a few years.
Yep,
and I'm
they'll save
happy
you
to
from
know
having
you.
freedom.
that's one thing that I've never really shared with a lot of people. So be honored.
Well, I kind of picked
Well,
up
you've
on it a
had
while
to have
back.
dealt with it quite a while ago because you have grandkids. So,
Yeah, back Gen X, we keep shit to ourselves because once something's brought out, it's used against us
Right.
as men, especially men. Whatever a lot of it's if you wear your feelings on your sleeve,
If you had emotions, you were not a man.
and whenever you spill your beans or spill your emotions, it will be used against you.
man, I can only imagine the kind of topics that have come up in my honor around the office working here. Just because, like,
Oh,
we get into certain situations out here on the road where tension and stress starts to get high. Things are like falling apart. Every situation out in the road for me has been unique when it comes to dealing with certain types of stress or something that's going wrong and everything else. I don't know how to diagnose it, but there's like something that's slightly miswired in my personality. Where the stress keeps getting higher and higher and start getting madder and madder and madder. At some point, it diverts. I turn it into crying ass bitch. Seriously, I instead of getting like just more like red faced, pissed off at the world, that the world is falling apart, everything's out to get me, everything and everybody is against me, I end up getting more emotional than mad, and just because like the stress gets so overwhelming, it's like it doesn't vent with anger, it vents with emotion. And I don't know if it's part of my age. I don't know if it's the whole, you get older, the whole testosterone thing starts declining or whatever else, even though
I knew there was something wrong with you.
and so, but it's, I don't know how to explain it now, but being more aware of that, you're able to like channel that frustration somewhere else. Most common thing that triggers it is like a shipper ticking off. Something's going to mess up your home by, you have big plans to do, or something, just dominoes, just like they took 6 hours to get unloaded. It takes you another 4 hours to get loaded. You could have got home tonight. You need to be there tomorrow for this, but now you're not going to get there until tomorrow. And it's just like one thing after another. And
It's frustrating.
I
and
think what makes it even more difficult is because you don't know, being out here in the truck, and I think a lot of us have had the experience, we only see what's in front of us. We don't know what dominoes have been laid out and triggered on the other side.
yeah.
And so I've heard this from a lot of our drivers, that the first people that want to blame is not the broker. They don't want to blame the broker. They don't blame the shipper or the receiver. Dispatch is doing this to me. But I think it's so easy, and it really isn't. I think it's so much easier to blame our dispatch because, well, we have a more personal relationship with our dispatch. Not we've seen everyone in dispatch. We've met everybody. I mean, would you agree that it could be, a lot of it can be more targeted towards dispatch than the shippers, receivers, and brokers and everything else? I mean, first people we're going to get mad at is dispatch. then it's like
Yeah.
dispatch did this to me.
Oh man, I
And
can't
so-
even tell you how many times I have been so absolutely livid with dispatch, knowing darn well it wasn't them. but they're the closest to me
Right.
emotionally, you know, because I deal with them.
And I think there's a few people in the office that really understand, you know, the individual drivers' personalities enough to the point where, like, if we call, there's always going to be someone there that we can just lean into and just cuss them out. They know you just want the vent, because cussing out some stranger at a broker isn't going to do you any good. But if you cuss out someone that you know, whether it's Albert or Brandy in dispatch or
cussing me out, I'm
anybody,
gonna hang up on you.
or you know, sometimes someone it's just easier to vent to someone that you know, because like they know you're just rattling off just whatever. But
I don't think I've been that mad with a dispatch since I left Swift.
oh, and it's not even anyone in particular. It's just a situation that just keeps escalating. It can't get any worse than this. Hold my beer. So, and we have some drivers that are just, I wouldn't know how to diagnose him, but I don't know, overly concerned with what everybody thinks. I think with that best way of summing that up.
Yeah.
All right. And so, always worried, less worried about what they have going on, worried about what everyone else is thinking or saying, and
Yeah.
He really needs to
so
stop it.
that's kind of a, I guess that's kind of what would that be? Not really a, I guess,
An attaboy syndrome? I don't know, call it attaboy syndrome? Need
I don't know.
attaboys?
Close enough. But he really needs to stop worrying about what everybody thinks, because he's not progressing in life as well as he should be, because he's so focused on everything around him instead of himself.
Can't make everybody happy.
No.
It's never going to happen.
well, he has learned over the years that there's a lot of people that have his back that he didn't realize he had. So,
Even
and-
though
and
I'm
he-
not here.
and
I
he's-
still have his back.
and
He's come a long way the last couple of years.
yeah, and he's come to the point where he's acknowledged that, you know, I didn't realize these people had my back. And so, but there, you know, you're here long enough, you might get to be one of them people that all that damn Jerry and da 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 da. Hey, you started yesterday. You just don't worry about it. You leave Jerry alone. That Sharon, though, oh gosh.
Love you
Every
too.
time she shows up, her dog's trying to kill and attack us.
Oh, he's not killing it. He just wants slobbery loves.
So, but yeah, I mean, what any other things that you've seen or people struggle with?
Well,
I mean, the isolation is a big one.
yeah, the isolation really is a big one, and like,
Depression follows with it.
yes, it does. It really does. And I dealt with that quite a bit right before I left Swift to come over here. But I think that was just mostly because of the situation I was going through at the particular time at home.
Right.
But I think really just for me that was my biggest things, was just dealing, you know, finding out about the ADD and just dealing with the situation I had going on at home. That was my major things to deal with.
And your church, you says mostly about suicide, right? Your mental health thing.
It's the whole TVP project, and that's what they usually, basically what they,
But the primary driving force
yes,
is like, you know, just can't deal with it no more.
better than suicide, yes.
Do you know if we've ever had any drivers that have had those kind of issues that seen to fruition that we didn't realize? That's another thing, 'cause a lot of people, from what I understand, a lot of them, the whole mental illness thing is. Robin Williams is another perfect example. Not
Yeah.
a truck driver,
Yes.
but always happy, always glad to see people. But he apparently had a lot of stuff going
If
on.
there's
Didn't know.
drivers here, they keep it to themselves.
Oh yeah,
What?
it's a Gen X thing.
Yes. Most of our drivers here are Gen Xers.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
Yes.
yeah. So you think it's just Gen X? Just throw the whole group under the bus that way?
Well, no, we're not. No, we're not. I'm not throwing us under the.
Gen X.
I guess
Probably
it's,
the tail end of Gen X, but you. But yeah, it's a thing where we suppress everything,
yeah, there's
and suppression is bad for mental illness. Yes, it is, but at the same time, that's how we were raised.
And when I even, when I was growing up and stuff, it's something you never heard about depression. You never heard about ADD, ADHD. I never heard about suicide. You didn't hear about any of that stuff compared to the generations growing up now.
Well, we didn't have social media like
That's true.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true. When I was a kid, it's like, no, they don't have anything like that. They just need a good whooping and they'll be fine.
right.
So,
Yeah, social media has definitely changed the face of mental health.
Yeah, you
I
can't
don't know.
really do anything without
you can't.
somebody noticing.
Which I guess probably what's driving a lot of it now is that all your business is out there, and so
That's another reason why I stay in my truck.
yeah.
The cameras are on the outside.
Fair enough.
well, I don't really have any mental health stories other than what I've shared about myself.
You are a mental health story.
So
I'm just kidding. You make all of us mental.
well, your social anxiety, and then we've been in them situations. How did you, what did you do to cope, to deal with it? I mean, is there any tricks that you've learned over the years dealing with your social anxiety that you could pass on to someone that might be struggling with something similar?
Ones or the healthy ones?
The healthy
Because
ones.
I started out, if I couldn't hack it, I always carried like a little pint of liquor.
We can't do that in the truck.
No, that was before I became
Okay.
a truck driver. I value my CDL,
You can't
so
admit.
I barely drink a glass of wine once every 3 months. So, at home.
A lot of echo.
Echo.
Hello. But usually I have to close my eyes and take a deep breath and try to put myself in a calmer space in my mind. Like somewhere that I'm familiar with, like in my bunk with a coloring book or something, and then just try to think of that every time I start to vibrate internally or hyperventilate. And, I just try to keep focus with my breathing and everything. And sometimes I don't have quite a lot of control with it. It'll be over soon, so.
So there's no one you can call to chat, or is it better by yourself?
I'm such a loner that I don't call very many people
Right.
at all.
We're Gen Xers. We take care of our stuff ourselves.
My mom is my best friend. That's the person I talk to.
I don't have that same.
I used to call Albert, but he doesn't answer his phone anymore.
I know, right?
You get this message, I'll call you back.
I'll call you back. I got that this morning. And I was like, mother effer. So I texted him.
Oh yeah, his mental health thing is not communicating. Last weekend I was on my way up here.
That was a Gen X thing, too.
I
No
was on my way up
communication.
here. I was like, hey, I'm heading up there a little bit early. I'm gonna start getting set up and everything else because we didn't have a guest. It was just gonna be a one-on-one type thing. I get like by Walmart. He texts me back. Yeah, I had to go to Lake City. I found out 5 minutes ago. I'm like, that would have been useful information 5 minutes ago. So I'm sitting up here like, well, I guess it's just you and me, bud. Talking to the camera.
Well, you're quite used to that, aren't you?
No, the cameras in the truck don't face the driver, so
They could. Albert, turn it on.
No.
no, because
You've
there's a
seen
lens.
enough of Chris,
There's
huh?
a lens cap. So, yeah. What about you?
For me, when I get, which
When you get in your
I really don't have a chance to get too lonely out there because it's either one of my friends, Christy, who drives for P&P, she calls me because she gets bored. My daughter's calling me. I have friends in New York that's calling me, so it's like,
The noise in the
pretty much-
background is our little gentleman, future truck driver. He is handling his mental health issues by taking it out in Mortal Kombat.
That's how I
Yes,
was when I was
yes.
his age.
he inherited that from his mama and daddy. Oh,
The gamers.
yes, they are. They are.
I am too.
Okay. So 3 against 1. You're not a gamer.
No.
I just had my son buy me a new Wii.
Wii. You should have got the Wii U.
No, I wanted to play the sports, like the bowling and stuff.
They still
Wii
actually.
U.
Is it a brand new
Really?
Wii or is it a used one? Because I haven't seen them in the
No,
store.
it's a refurbished.
I was about to say, I thought they quit making
They did,
those.
but I've never actually owned one. I've only had, an Atari.
Old school.
I mean, I started with an Atari, so I've been gamer.
Just keep
That's
the
how-
wand attached to your wrist and you'll be fine.
That's how we.
yeah, if
Dealt
you
with it.
don't,
Oh.
it go fly into the TV or
Well,
leave like
I don't
a dent
know,
in your
because I can
ceiling.
imagine if it's on my wrist, I'm going to end up with a black eye.
Well, they still have your TV still.
Yes.
They do call that the controller a nunchuck. Yeah, that was how we dealt with
All
it.
right, so let's go from mental fitness to physical fitness out there.
Oh,
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
the whole physical and diet thing out on the road is ridiculously difficult,
It
especially
is.
this day and age since
it's so expensive.
so many of the restaurants have closed down. I mean, who the hell wants IHOP? Who the hell wants frickin' Denny's?
I mean, if you took the initiative that I take, and it's pretty pricey, but overall, it's a lot cheaper than eating out on the road. I usually go to the butcher shop and buy big hunks of meat, and I cut them up into smaller portions and cook them differently. And then I use a food saver. I cut them up into serving sizes, put them in food saver bags, throw them in the freezer, and then I have like this freezer cooler on my truck to keep everything frozen, because the freezers in our fridges that come on the trucks,
Yeah.
they don't even, not even a single popsicle.
Well, you can't fit a pint of ice cream in there. Don't ask me how. I have
No.
no idea if that's true or not. But you can't fit a pint of ice cream in those.
No,
things.
Not in
you
ours,
cannot. I have to take the
you
lid off, eat the
actually-
top,
Just
and
smash
fold.
it in the
Yes, I fold in the edges and then put the lid back on it and smash it in there.
See, I was
terrible.
in Oklahoma City, and I found the Loves over there that has Brahms in the parking lot.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I miss Brahms. Well, my daughter's like, Mom, bring me home some sherbet. They actually took a pint-sized cup and packed that thing plumb full of sherbet, and it fits perfectly in our freezers.
Oh, their pints must be.
Yes.
Okay.
It's about
Must be a different shape.
Yeah, it must be
just
because
a little
Because
round.
the Ben and
Yeah.
Jerry's
the
and
Walmart. Oh, Ben and
Yeah.
Jerry's. Oh, shit. That's good. What's your favorite flavor? Fish food.
nah, fish food isn't mine.
Oh, that's awesome.
What flavor is it?
It is it's got fudge ribbon through it, caramel ribbon, marshmallow cream in it, little chocolate fishies. Oh,
I mean, it is
that's
good,
awesome.
but I like the chocolate cherry one. I forget.
Oh,
what it's
Cherry
called.
Garcia.
Yeah, Cherry Garcia. That one's my favorite.
You're probably a funky monkey.
Oh,
Chunky
fun-
monkey. Chunky
Chunky
monkey.
monkey.
Chunky monkey.
Yeah,
Is that a personal hit, man?
it was like no, it's like walnuts and banana
Walnuts,
flavoring.
banana flavoring, and does it have pieces of banana in it? I don't remember. It
I don't
might.
think so, because I don't think it would have survived.
Right.
No, actually,
Just
I enjoy
bananas.
sherbet.
Oh, I knew he was a little fruity.
And if it's ice cream, it's going to be a peanut butter based ice cream, basically. But I prefer sherbet over ice cream.
Yeah, the food options and be able to do any kind of physical fitness is it's really just a matter of
Getting out of
off,
your truck?
getting off your ass and doing it. Because after a whole day of
Motivation.
dealing with shippers and receivers, you're just like, I don't care. I'm just gonna sit
Yeah.
home.
Well, I mean, it just got to the point where, like, back in October 1st, I actually put my vape down, and my hand-to-mouth motion is
Right.
still there. And I have been eating while
That's-
driving, and that is killing me. And
That's the primary
I
reason why people
tried-
gain weight after quitting smoking.
I tried to go on a diet, and I failed miserably. I lost 5 pounds, but then I gained it right back, and then stacked more pounds on top. So I've just gotten to the point where I actually hired a virtual fitness coach
Right.
for 30 weeks. So, on my downtime, I'm trying to do the right thing. I've got somebody that's going to aggravate me enough to make me move.
Well, that's what's stupid about physical fitness out on the road. I mean, there's a couple easy things that any of us can do easily. Get out, walk around for 15 minutes every time we stop. It's 15 minutes. It goes by like that.
I don't want to
But
get out
like,
of my
I don't
truck.
want to. You don't want to get up, or
Yes.
or I've tried doing like physical training in the truck. You know, you got dumbbells or a couple dumbbells.
I actually
or doing
have weights and
squats. I have
stuff.
resistance bands. You know, just 5 minutes. So, I don't care.
I have like all of that stuff you named off, plus this thing called a leg master that's like, I haven't drugged
That
none
old
of it
school
out.
thing.
No, this is a new
That's
one.
called a thigh master.
Oh, Thigh master,
Yes,
okay.
this actually you stand up on, and your feet are on these little pedals that just slide back and forth.
Okay.
Does that fit in the truck?
It breaks down and it'll fit up under the bunk, and will fit it'll fit in between the seats and stuff.
Oh, and I've gotten in this nasty habit. I bought this very smart scale where it breaks down everything, your viscular fat,
Oh,
your
yeah,
water, your bone mass. I carry that scale with me everywhere I go.
I have one.
So I've gotten so obsessed and so upset over the fact that I'm not losing any weight. And I'm just like, I'm driving myself mad with this.
That's probably what caused
mental illness.
That's probably causing your additional weight gains. The fact you're not seeing progress.
Yeah, because I'm stressing.
when you first
Yeah.
start, that's well, a lot of people don't realize. Any type of diet you start, the first it's working great. I lost 3 pounds this week. Lost 2 pounds. Lost 5 pounds or whatever. That is all 100% water weight. We'll say 95% water weight.
I doubt it's water weight for me because
That's-
I don't hydrate enough.
No, it's water weight. The very first few pounds you lose is water weight.
Yeah.
And sugar is a big one. If you can just cut out sugar, which is
90% of my food lately.
harder than you think, because
It is
sugar
way harder.
sugar is in everything. But if you can cut out sugar just within a week's time, the first place you're going to see it is in your face, because sugar actually causes a lot of inflammation.
Yep.
And of course, we won't get into the USDA, but they made that food pyramid back in the 80s and revised it in the 90s, and sugar is on that. Oh, you need sugar because your body and your brain operates off glucose. Not the same thing. And so we really don't need a whole lot of sugar. Very little. But
You need healthy carbs, but not all of that refined sugar and
right.
yeah, no.
I've always been healthy. Like, I've never dieted. I've always naturally ate very well. You know, I've always liked sauteed and steamed vegetables, and I didn't eat a whole lot of sugar, and I stayed away from processed foods. So I've always been healthy, and then like my life has been turned upside down recently. So my routines and everything are just trashed, and I've just been eating nothing but crap. It's terrible.
That's all it takes
Like
is just one thing
red
in your life to
vines
just
and
get
Reese cups.
Well, a couple of months ago, you had a cardiac event, which kind of triggered a whole
yeah.
lifestyle change and everything else. What things have you given up on to help with your newfound goals? I mean, it's my understanding you recently passed all of your physical tests from your cardiac event, right?
Yes.
So you're officially allowed to go back to
Yay.
the truck if
Yes.
No.
if someone put a gun to your head to make you go, damn it. Oh, you know what?
Well,
That's a mental health thing. Has the wife been like, you need to go? You're home too much. Beat
Are
it.
you driving your wife mental?
Oh, she's not here to defend herself. So we're not talking about her, especially if she listens
We
to this.
love her though.
I gave up fried foods because basically the day I had my heart attack, I had
So you're not Southern anymore?
fried foods. I was never Southern to begin with.
Oh, well.
He's from New
That's
York.
right.
Right.
That's right. That's
one of them
right.
Yankees.
Hell, I stopped drinking sweet tea a long time ago, but that's a change I had. But mainly it's changing the whole diet, incorporating more vegetables instead of getting rid of the candy.
Cheeseburgers.
No, I
No,
can still eat cheeseburgers.
Protein.
I just get the leaner meat.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this week I've been doing the keto thing, and this week I kind of fell off the wagon. I just
Doesn't take much.
They had a PB&J at the truck stop. I'm like, I don't fucking care. I'm getting, you're mine. And so, well, hell with it. It's Christmas. There's so many foods that are going to be extremely hard to I'll pick it back up next year. And so, but yeah, I topped out at 305. And then before I started keto, I was at 385. And then I got down to 208. I hit 208, and my body was like, you're done. And the following week, I put on 4 pounds. I'm like, what? I'm like starving myself, eating like 1,500 calories a week, walking every day for like 15 minutes, doing the whole resistant band thing, you know, avoiding all the excess carbs because of keto. And my body was like, you're done. And so I got back up to like 220. I'm like, just pissed off at the scale. I told the wife it's broken, get a new one.
At least you're not back up to 308 though.
And so, yeah, that.
You gotta stay positive, man. Stay positive.
And so I figured I probably hit that point where it's time to cycle it out, take a break. Still, I try to avoid excessive carbs, but I'm not gonna. I stopped avoiding them. I'm like, forget it. If I want a sandwich, I'm gonna have a sandwich. But for dinner, we won't have the bread at dinner or whatever else. Because what made keto for me so easy was it's the avoiding the carbs was the tough part. But there's not really many vegetables that I don't like, and so that was a big thing. Intake more vegetables. Okay, I mean.
But with keto, you have to watch your vegetables and your fruits because.
Fruits.
Yes.
And only certain types of vegetables, root vegetables in particular.
Yes.
So no potatoes.
Carrots.
Minimize the amount of carrots, but obviously those salads is going to have the little shredded carrots in them. But I'm not
Not
worried about that.
necessarily. It depends on what salad you're getting.
Well, sometimes you don't want to eat the same thing.
The store-bought ones have carrots in them.
Not all of them.
Some of them, but sometimes you want a variety. You want something different.
Yeah.
Iceberg lettuce is not the best lettuce.
Oh, is it not?
No.
It actually has more sugar in it.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of salad.
I like butter lettuce. Butter lettuce is good, and romaine.
Yes, romaine is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
To like, if you're wanting to
I
keep
like
it
romaine.
keto,
I use a lot of spinach
and
too.
you could do wraps with the romaine.
Right.
That's really good.
There's a carb-friendly tortilla out
Yep.
there that I use.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Bread, just regular sandwich bread. That was always a tough one, and so
I used to eat a whole loaf just by itself when I was a kid.
Well, I
No,
had
I'm
experimented
serious.
with several brands, and Walmart actually has it's a Sam's Choice. They actually have a keto bread now, and most of them they're always too firm. They never toast properly, and for whatever reason, they always look like they've been smashed. All of them. And recently, I saw they had like a Sam's Choice keto-friendly bread, and it's awesome. It's soft. It's spongy like regular bread. It toasts.
Like my belly.
Is it actually the same size as a normal slice of
No.
bread? That's what I've
Oh,
noticed.
yeah. It actually is. And so, and then I was like, I still want my PB&J. So I found a Chalk Zero and another brand that make keto jellies. They're really good.
Does the bread have sugar in it? That keto bread? Does it have any
No.
sugar in it?
No, well,
What does it use for sweetener? Because I mean, breads are usually have sugar. in
yeah,
it.
and that's an American thing. Actually,
it?
yeah.
Oh well, I don't
Because they
know.
put-
I'm not
they
a
put
I'm,
sugar
I'm
in
not a professional
everything.
bread maker.
Well, neither am I. But
The
you know,
last bread I made was
in the
with beer.
process. In the process of learning and researching the whole keto thing, trying to find new recipes and everything else, I come across a couple YouTube channels. I guess you can call them experts that broke down on how and why keto works the way it does, and why the American diet is so
Trash.
detrimental to Americans' health. I mean, heck, there was a joke that I heard years ago that talked about everyone says, oh, it's the fats, it's the sugars, it's the starches, it's this, it's that. It's like, well, Germans' primary diet consists of all types of really fatty sausages and everything else, and they have fewer heart attacks than Americans. The Asians, Japan and China, have loads and loads of sodium, monosodium glutamate, blah, 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 all the sodium, and they have fewer heart attacks than Americans, so it can't be the sodium. And they mentioned a couple other countries in this little whole deal. So apparently it has nothing to do with the type of food or what's in your food. Apparently what kills you is being an American.
Right.
Well, I mean, here lately, I have noticed all the chemicals that they are putting in our foods, in our products, and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever is making these products is trying to kill the Americans, basically.
The Chinese.
Well, let's not get political, but
Yeah, leave Pooh alone. Pooh Bear. You get that, right? The Chinese president hates Winnie the Pooh.
oh, really?
Oh yeah, because everyone compares him to Winnie the Pooh. He's like, oh yeah, so he's like, no.
There's worse things to be compared to.
I know. Oh bother.
You are.
Well, isn't his name Xi Jinping? I mean,
Something. But yeah, he got compared.
wow.
Everyone's like, but yeah, diet is probably a difficult thing, and just the whole. Well, it kind of ties into the whole mental health thing. You know, some days after a long day, even if it's not a long day, I've had days where I've only drove 350 miles, and I'm like, it's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I should get off my ass and go walk around. Oh look, a movie.
yep.
You just, I mean,
I'm like, oh, look, video games.
well, I mean, if you were able to get into like a groove, it's easy to maintain. But if you stop that groove, it's hard to get back into it, get back into that habit. And of course, the thing that helps you get out of it is, oh, it's raining. I don't want to get wet. I'm made out of sugar.
Right.
I'll melt.
Another thing about being ADHD is, I try my hardest. I set like reminders and stuff on my phone and whatnot. I will straight look at that reminder and turn it off. Like
Sounds
my
like me with an
ADHD,
alarm
I
clock.
cannot get out.
You're like, no.
It's not being lazy. I'm just stuck in a mode where I just can't.
Right.
I really need somebody to seriously harp on me to the point where I'm pissed off and be like, fine, I'm going to do it. I'm to that point where I need somebody to just really rear into me,
I had a
get
doctor
me to
like
go.
that one time. I went to the doctor. I was doing keto at the time, and I had went there, and he was fussing at me because I had not lost enough weight the month before. And I went home and was explaining to everybody what all he was telling me I needed to do and all that. Well, my ex sat there and looks at me like, that's not our problem, that's yours. I got so mad that when I went back to the doctor the next month, I had lost 10 pounds that month. I was living off nothing but like the little Star-Kissed tuna packs and baby
gosh.
spinach and stuff like that the whole month long.
Yeah, I've got tons of those tuna fish packets, and I always get the albacore. I don't get like the regular tuna. I don't like the regular tuna for some reason.
Right.
I like the albacore. Of course, I have a rich taste bud. I don't like the cheap, trashy foods. I like the really expensive foods. People ask me, why don't you have any money? I like food, man.
I could be spending it on meth, okay?
I'm not a girly girl. I'm
I
not going to
tell
spend
you
it on
what,
jewelry,
I'm not
makeup,
gonna-
and clothes. I'm going to spend it on food. Feed me, Seymour.
Do either of you have any experience with meth?
No.
Meth?
Yes.
Yes.
I have a lot of friends that have had, but I myself have not.
I was actually an addict.
See, I can't say that. I mean, I used it for a couple months way back in the day, and it was just like, I'm done. Quitting smoking was also easy, and so everyone that says they've struggled trying to quit smoking, whether it's vaping or smoking, I'm not. It's not. I'm trying to be mean. I can't sympathize with you because I didn't go through your struggle, so I can't really comment on it. I found that I smoked a lot less when I was at home on the weekend and I was in front of the computer. Well,
That's where I smoked the most.
I had my last cigarette that day on my way home from work, and I had a 2-day weekend, and I just didn't buy another pack. That was it. Yeah, there were cravings. I'm not gonna lie.
Weird.
Going back at work because you're back at work and used to lighting up, and
Yeah.
and so after that, I just may have bummed 2-3 cigarettes over the next couple of weeks, but other than that, I just didn't buy another pack, and so it was easy. Even with the meth use, I just didn't buy another 20 sack or 20 bag or whatever you're calling it, So, but yeah. But anyways, The
My
reason why I
closest
brought that up.
thing was to anything was smoking pot in my younger days, but
Who hasn't?
right,
Is it even a drug?
I'm like, my kids
Yeah.
smoke pot now.
right.
So,
I tell you what,
My
it's gotten
mom
weird.
smokes.
But I bring it up just because there's been times when like you hit that wall when you're trying on your little weight loss journey. You hit that wall and you're like, just give me like a month of meth. Just you lose these last 10 effing pounds or these last 15 effing pounds just to.
you can do that in a week.
And
Zoom,
so-
zoom. You'll be the new advertisement for Mazda.
Zoom, zoom.
What's your malfunction?
Yeah, what's
You
why?
don't need diddle
You
squat.
can't see a clock, man. You need one that big.
Do you know how to read Roman numerals?
I'm a Gen Xer. I'm dedicated.
So other than changing your eating habits, what other things have you tried to incorporate into your new found health goals?
Not using
Do you-
drugs.
Do you get?
Say no to drugs.
You, are
Trying
you
to go
still
to-
going? You going to the gym still?
No, it's like I said earlier. It's one of those things where once we obtain our goal to get what we wanted, which is I wanted my med card back.
Right.
It's like once we get that goal, as humans, we just pause or just forget about that ultimate goal, which was actually getting down, losing a lot more weight than I did.
I
And,
got an idea.
So now that I don't have that goal to reach, it's like, why go back to the gym since I've already got my med card back? But I just got to set a different goal. To
Listen, if you want to go to the gym tomorrow, I'll go with you.
Yeah, I tried to get him to go around the same time. He
yeah.
just kind of like fell off the wagon.
It
I'm
was,
like,
it was.
You know what?
I got things to do
I'm
this
gonna
weekend.
blow your phone up until you either turn
And
it
it was
off
after I got
or
my
go.
med card back that I stopped really going, was it not? I got my med card back last month,
right.
and that's when I really stopped going. I mean, still have a membership, and I was going over there every damn day.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
if
yeah, I got
you're
that
like
reminder
me,
in my
you're
bank
stuck
account.
you're
probably
stuck
go
in
and
that
use that.
membership for a year. So
No,
it-
it's monthly.
Huh?
It's
Monthly.
Yeah, but the initial yearly thing.
Yo, you're talking about your dues.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're stuck in that contract for at least a year.
Have you paid your dues yet? I think it comes out like after the second month. I think.
It's like $49 too. Isn't it?
Yeah.
There was a second month that came out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it came out.
But yeah, you can cancel your monthly. Be good to go for like the next 8 months. But if you renew it, your dues will still be due. Well, not right away, but
Well, what I might do is just go get rid of my black card and just go to regular membership.
Racist.
wow. Was I thinking out loud? I was thinking,
No, it's
I'm so
because
sorry.
no, it's because I don't utilize everything for that black card memberships have, like the massage tables, the tanning beds.
Oh, well, you're not like me either. I can go. I go to several different ones all over. So, I mean, there's one in North
Well, yeah.
Carolina that I go to.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so-
another benefit of the black cards. You can go to any
Any of
club.
them.
So.
If you haven't noticed, I'm no longer driving a truck, so the only one I would use is the one here.
Yeah,
What if you went to BB though,
I've noticed how bad freight's
or
been.
or Little Rock?
I'm not going to go to Little Rock to go to a damn Planet Fitness. I'm not going to go to BB to go to Planet Fitness. I'm not going to go to Bangor, Maine to go to Planet Fitness.
Why would you go
BB.
to Maine?
They have a Planet Fitness.
No.
Oh,
Because I got family in Maine that I go visit once in a while.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So basically, if I go on vacation, now I'm not going to go spend my time at a Planet Fitness. I'm going to be spending my time BSing with my relatives.
Which you'll probably not need a Planet Fitness anyway because you'll be moving around and socializing.
Pretty much.
do you buy groceries for your truck? I mean,
I
do you
do.
try to buy groceries for your truck?
I do.
So do you meal prep at home, or do you just grab all your stuff in the truck and say, we'll maybe do it?
Reluctantly, I've been buying a lot of just microwave stuff lately, but I need
bad
this.
for you.
I know.
Yeah, it's a pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah. I've got
There you
to
go again.
start. I've really got to start meal prepping and doing better because I actually started last week. I went over to Batesville to a clinic over there where they actually do the shot for weight loss.
Which one?
Zelita, I think is the name of it, something like that.
Not Ozempa? or Ozempic?
I don't
or-
get out much,
Oh,
so
the
I have
shot.
no idea.
I think it's the Ozempic shot. But yeah, I've got to start. I've really got to start meal prepping and doing a whole
Well,
lot
if you're
better.
wanting some sort of like supplement, have you thought about like Adipex or anything like that?
I've actually taken that before. They actually had me on that while I was doing keto, and I was doing great until I started truck driving.
If yeah, those two is actually kind of difficult. There's a lot
Truck
of
driving
studies
doesn't
about
mix
it.
with anything,
But
No.
Adipex
except
and-
mental illness.
you would think that Adipex and keto would like complement one another because one's an appetite suppressant with a mild stimulant, and the other one is you're just cutting out a whole type of section of food. But depending on the purses, they can actually work against each other. In some
Yeah.
cases, you can be
Well-
like
In my case at the time, they was working really well together because I had a job where I was walking 7 miles a day. That, yeah, I was a
Prison guard. No security guard.
no, I was a lead at an Amazon. So there was a lot of
Well, those
walking
buildings are
involved.
kind of big.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I was supposed to be running a crew of like 6 people, and it was only me and one other girl. So the two of us were doing the job of a crew of 6. Yeah. Which is what pushed me into getting my CDLs. When I walked into a big break room yelling at somebody that was supposed to have been on my crew, all I'd asked them to do was dust mop a floor. Well, guy quit answering the walkie-talkie, and I go up there looking for him, find him. Dust mop's leaning over on a table with a pile of dirt, and he's sitting at a table, trying to get a date. I walked in yelling at him like he was my son or something. I'm like, oh, I got to get out of here.
I'm gonna catch a case.
Yeah, right.
You're gonna catch these hands.
Is orange
So-
a good color?
Hey, orange is the new black.
Yes.
Racist.
Wait a minute. Why is everything black got to be racist?
Why you keep saying it?
Racist.
No, I'm not racist at all.
No, we're just picking. None of us are.
That's a topic for another day.
Jokes. Jokes in the trucking industry.
That
The biggest.
will not be a family-friendly show that day.
So I have a few words.
You've been throwing darts at me all day. I had to.
Oh, but it's not like you don't throw them back.
You have a few words, you said? We're waiting. Inquiring minds.
After the show.
Oh,
It's
not
after
good
the
for-
show.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Rated X.
Unless you want me to throw your algorithm off.
No, we want those views to keep coming in. And thanks to Albert's topic material, we're approaching an hour on this particular segment. So hopefully we've been able to keep you guys relatively entertained and engaged to listen to this entire whole spiel.
It was all
So-
seriousness, but we made a light of it.
Try to not throw too many people under the bus and make fun or
Or make somebody depressed.
right. So, but so here it is after Christmas. I hope everyone had an excellent Christmas this year, and we have New Year's right around the corner. So hopefully, those of you who are out on the road won't get stuck behind some, yeah,
Slow
and
truck?
slow truckers, people that have been drinking and everything else. So if you're out on the road over New
Slow,
Year's
smart
Eve,
cars.
Definitely be careful with that.
avoid the countdown, people. Avoid all the drinkers. We don't
Remember,
need any
drivers.
And the
it's-
roadblocks.
Your BAC can only be 0.04, not 0.08.
But why chance it anyway? So,
In
but
Arkansas.
yeah. So
Oh, as a truck driver.
we still have not decided whether or not we will do a live episode tomorrow, the 31st. If we are, hope you'll tune in. If we do, we'll probably go live around 12 o'clock, noon Central Standard Time. So, thanks you guys for so much for watching and listening along this week. If you are waiting for all these to hit Spotify, they'll be available starting the 1st. If you haven't already done so, be sure and click that subscribe button. Click the little bell icon, become part of our little notification squad so you never miss any content that we upload. And like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Open Road 2023. And so if you have any ideas, comments for future topics on our show, be sure to leave all that in the comment section below. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. You can give a thumbs down too, but if you do, be sure to let us know why in the comment section below. So until next time, next year, we'll see you next year. And
Happy 2024.
So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Take care.